What's up, fam? You are listening to the Urban Sports Scene. We're also part of Empire Media. That's empiremedia.com. I'm Wole. My co-host Ray is out, so I'm doing the show solo. I mentioned Empire Media. Empire Media hosts multiple DMV sports podcast shows, such as the John Kime Report, hosted by ESPN Washington Commanders insider John Kime, and Jones Football, hosted by USA Today insider Mike Jones. Hey, you can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button and like this video. Do not forget to tweet us. Tweet us. It's still tweet? I guess it's tweet. Tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also, join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. You can also check out our weekly NFL picks on the Football Garbage Time website. Just go to www.footballgarbagetime.com. It's part of the Urban Sports Scene versus Football Garbage Time Pick'em Challenge. I'm doing horrible. I'm last place in the thing, so don't trust me. Don't go with my picks. They're trash. My picks are trash. Anyway, Will T would normally say this, so I got to get a shout out to Will T, who used to be on the show. Let's get into our tradition, the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We'll chat with Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Washington Commanders reporter Donna Hopkins. We'll talk about the Commanders losing to the LA Rams and their upcoming game against the New York Jets. Then we'll talk with HBCU analyst and announcer Jamie Walker about FAMU defeating Howard in the Celebration Bowl. Finally, I'll talk with undefeated junior welterweight Gary Antuanne Russell. But right now, I see my guest is ready and she's ready to go. I can see I'm putting her in. She's on. She's going on live right now. I have Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Washington Commanders reporter Donna Hopkins on. What's going on, Donna?
Hey, Wally. You know what? I think that we are rocking the same look with the toboggans.
I know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got look, you know what I mean? Like great minds think alike. You know what I'm saying? Great minds think alike.
Most definitely.
What's up, Blue? So Donna, let's get to it, man. You were in the building. You were at SoFi Sunday. Washington fell to the LA Rams 28-20. Washington was down 28-7. Coach Rivera decided to bench Sam Howell in the fourth quarter. Did you agree with the move?
As Jacoby Brissett said, that he doesn't like to hear bench. Let's just say that he was sit down and replace.
Okay.
Either way you want to spin it, he was set down. Bench, right. Whatever you want to do it. But, I thought that the move came a little late because if you look at the play of Sam Howell over the last 4 or 5 games, he struggled. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was struggling in that game early. Now, if Coach Rivera makes that call early, which Coach Rivera said that was his call as far as switching them in and out. Okay. And the reason why he said that Howard was taking a beating, he didn't want him to take a beating. Well, it was, and so I understand all of that. But the thing is if he would have been replaced probably at the start of the third quarter because Sam had been struggling, maybe the outcome would have been totally different because they weren't used to Jacoby being in there. You could see that he moved the offense. He was confident. And I think right now you can tell that Sam right now is a little shell-shocked. Yeah. He's not the same Sam as he was at the beginning of the year. You can see that he's rattled a little bit right now. And I would be too if I had been sacked as many times as he has, but he looks like he's taken a few steps backwards as far as his progression moving forward, getting rid of the ball, going through his reads and all of that. He seems like he's having a few hiccups there right now.
Yeah, it does. I have this question. So do you think so? My thought process going to this game, to your point, you're right. Everything you said is correct. But I was hearing, you were hearing all the comments about, Terry McLaurin coming out saying that, he just had cardio the last game. And when I watch Sam Howell play, I like when I think he has his best games when he is sharing the football, where he is judicious with the football. And I know what we all love Terry McLaurin. Like, he is amazing. We saw what he can do with limited quarterback play. We've seen it. To me, he's one of them. But I think Sam Howell is better suited when he's sharing the football and not keying on one person. I felt like in this game, he was keying in on Terry McLaurin, where I just felt like if he was playing his type of game and not listening to the outside noise, like he would be better. He would have had a better game against the Rams. Do you agree or don't agree?
Yeah, I think that when you look at Sam right now, and I hate hearing everybody, and like you said, Terry is a great receiver. I mean, not taking anything from Terry, but I think that when you try to force things in where it's not the pass that you should have been throwing,
there you go. Yeah,
because you heard so much of the outside noise. Even my co-host with Tony McGee always said they got to get the ball to Terry more. That's your playmaker. But if Terry is not open and he's not the receiver open, and if you're forcing, and that's kind of what Sam did on Sunday, Rams, is that he forced the ball into areas that he should have held onto the ball and not let go, because he was trying to get it to Terry and other receivers that wasn't open. So my thing is with Sam is he's not that veteran quarterback yet that can make plays, or read defenses, because right now people are throwing everything at Sam's. They basically is saying, we're going to show you every kind of look, and we're going to see what decisions you make. And I think that's why you're seeing his production go down a little bit, and his completions is because they're throwing everything at him, and he's overwhelmed, I think, right now as far as what they're putting on him. And so for them to try to say, hey, Terry needs to get the ball more, and or Dotson needs to get the ball, or this one. If those receivers aren't the receivers that are open, why are you trying to force it in there? And Sam's not there. Maybe 2 or 3 years on down the road, once he gets used to the defensive, looks, maybe he can find Terry on some of those plays. Jacoby, to me, is a seasoned veteran. The reason why he was able to find Terry, because he was able to get rid of the ball faster and to go through his progressions faster. Sam is not there yet. So people can't expect Sam to be that veteran quarterback that he's not right now. And for people to put the pressure on him to say, you need to get it to Terry, the playmakers. Well, if the playmakers aren't open, all you're doing is putting more pressure on Sam, and he doesn't need that.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you're a young player, you got to let them do what they're comfortable in doing, right? And I just watching that game and watching the highlights and watching some of the clips, going back and watching some of the clips and some of the tape, it just seemed like he was eyeing Terry. And we watch games where we talk about Sam in a bright way. The first thing we say is that he's sharing the ball with everybody. That, like the Denver Broncos game, we said the same thing. The Patriots game for that first half. What game comes to the Seattle Seahawks game. Like you were saying, he is sharing the football, but when he starts to eye in on one person, I think that's just not his game. It's funny, it's wild, because you have all-time great quarterbacks who don't like keying on one person, like force feeding one person. Tom Brady is one dude who likes to share the football to whoever. Tom Brady will have a game where he just goes to his running backs. He is cool with that. So Terry's great. We want him to get numbers. We want everybody to know how special he is. But at the same time, to what you're saying, I totally agree with you. Like where Sam Howell is at right now, it's better suited for him just to play his game. What that means for me, from the body of work, if you're telling me when Sam Howell is playing good, he is judicious with the football.
And Wally, the other thing too that people got to remember, we got an offensive line that cannot hold water.
Yes.
I mean, come on. True. I mean, the offensive line to me has failed him this year. And so Sam doesn't have the time to go through all his progressions. Say for instance, like his progression where Terry does get open over the middle, or he finds Terry. Well, if he's got people in his face, and also him being able to read defenses quickly and make those quick decisions. He doesn't, to me, he's thinking too much right now. He wasn't thinking as much in the beginning of the season as he is right now. And I think that, that's part of his struggles. The offensive line, not giving him the time. And, they've got some of the bodies hurt right now, which is going to be tough when they face the Jets, because the Jets have one of the best defense. Let's not say the best, but they've got a good defense. A pretty good defense. Yeah. So Sam is going to have to deal with that, and the fact that they don't run the ball. They're having red zone problems where they can't punch it in. I mean, that was the thing that was furious about that Rams game, is several times they had the ball with the 1 yard line. If you can't punch it in from the 1 yard line, you don't need to be out on the field. And not only that, I can't understand why the play call is always run the ball up the middle. That is not where they're going to get that yardage or pick it up. They get stopped all the time trying to run up the middle in between those seams right there. Yeah. It's not going to happen. So it 4 times, I mean, thank goodness for penalties, but 4 times, 5 times, you run up that same middle. Most teams just dive over, get that, but not the Commanders. So to me, it's not about passing. Go on the outside, those little screen passes, or, try to punch it in from the outside, run it in wider, the angle, because Wally, they ain't getting it up the middle.
I mean, their offensive line in general just trash. I mean, I don't know what you can do, to be honest with you.
He said trash. Did you hear what he said? He said trash. I didn't call them trash.
I did. But I did.
They're bad.
No, you're cool. I call them trash. I just feel like we know, like, in turn, Donna, you've been covering this team. You cover some of the greatest offensive lines, period, for this team. And like, I feel like when you run up the gut, because you run up the gut, Joe Gibson run up the gut. Like, that's an attitude thing. And I know you're right. You want to go outside, but a yard and you can't punch it up the gut. That's a problem. Like that. I know you're right. And everything you're saying is correct, right? Like, you keep doing the same thing. It's not working. Obviously not good enough.
And you don't have the personnel to do that.
But sometimes it comes just manning up. Like, man up. It's a yard. They're not even asking you to get 2 yards. It's a yard.
Yard.
A
4
yard.
times. 4 times. A yard. So I don't get it.
That's the thing that gets me. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, just like it gets to a point with manning up. So we have this poll out there about if folks agreed with Rivera benching Sam Howell. 84% said no. 16% said yes.
So why did the 84% think that no, he shouldn't have been benched?
I feel like. I mean, I wasn't in favor of the benching, but because I feel like this is the thing, like, where are they going?
Wally, listen to this. It doesn't matter where they're going. Where they're going should be to win the game. So whoever is going to give you the best chances to win the game. Let's go back to when quarterbacks have been benched. Not I mean, when you look at and try to dissect this team, it's hard because of just how bad they've been. But the bottom line is winning games. So if Jacoby gave you the best chance at that moment to win the game, being that Sam, it's not like Sam just started struggling in that particular game against the Rams, because he was pretty bad. If you go back the last 3 games before the Rams games, he's been pretty bad. So for them to bench him at that moment, I don't have a problem, because it happens all the time. As far as if a quarterback is struggling, you switch him up. It's not like Sam is going to be benched this week, but at that particular game, he needed to be benched.
It's definitely a different time, because a lot of athletes are very fragile. So you're totally right. I guess I'm thinking the fragile athlete. I am. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, it's not so much Wally that Sam was fragile.
I say he's fragile, but I'm saying athletes in general now.
Oh yeah, not him. They crying about practice. I think it's so hard. Don't get me started on that one.
Exactly. Not saying because I like Sam. I think Sam is tough. But go ahead.
Yeah, but when you look at Sam in this particular game, he was not going to go forward in a positive way. So there, the Rams were in his head. When he threw that bad pass, that last one that got him set down, he was rattled. And you think about this, when you're playing in a basketball game and you can't hit the sign of the barn, and no matter how much you shoot, they said, keep shooting. Ain't nothing happening still. They said, well, go in and try to make a layup. And that layup is clinging too. At that moment, it's all in your head at that. So you just need to kind of like take a step back. And this is the thing that Coach Rivera said. With Sam sitting there and Jacoby being in, he was able to kind of like look at Jacoby, see what he's doing, take a step back from what he was doing, and kind of like get a breath of air. I think that was good for Sam, because it was so much pressure on him at that time, and him putting it on himself, that sometimes I remember my coach sitting me down in practice, put the third string, Can you imagine the third string? But you know what that did for me? I said, you know what? I'm going to show him. And he was all in my ear going at me too. And I was like, I'm going to show him. But what he was trying to do is I was putting so much pressure on myself that he was trying to relieve me. And that's, I think, is what happened with Sam. I mean, a lot of people don't think that he should have been pulled. And like you said, for what? Where are they going? What I mean, I think it's like St. Jude said to me, I don't know about all the other players and whatever, but what I want to do is play the best possible game and not show that I'm quitting and whatever. Sure. So I think it comes down to each individual assessing themselves. And at that point, I think that was one of the times that this team made the right decision.
Okay, cool. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm
That's
worried about players. No, you're cool. Your take is cool. I'm all about I'm always thinking about a player psyche nowadays. I said nowadays because you never know what people are about anyway. So in terms of for you, do you think that Sam, after the benching, do you feel that Sam is part of this team's future, or do you think now they're thinking another way?
Well, I think that you almost have to say we have to assess everybody, right down to Sam. I like Sam. Everybody says, even Jacoby said that this guy has an upside to him, and I think that is true. But does he fit what the Commanders need? This is the thing people got to realize. Does he fit what the Commanders need right now in order to turn this ship around quickly? You don't want it to take 3 or 4 years for this thing to turn around in the right direction. And what you got to do is assess if Sam is that guy. Do you want to stay in the ring with him and let him, go through the progressions of growing pains? Maybe he'll have a strong. Maybe he hit, rookies. Maybe he hit the
rookie wall.
As far as the rookie, maybe that's where he's at right now. But again, is he the right person with the direction that ownership is trying to go? Do they want to, wait until he gets to that point? Because it could be 2 more years. It could be 1 year, or it could be 3. We don't know. Do they have patience to want to wait that out, or do they want quick results right now? And that's the thing is, can Sam give you the quick results come next year? If they don't keep an Eric Bieniemy where he has helped groom Sam, and then Sam has another person coming in here with another philosophy of things, will that set Sam back? So it's a lot of things that's going to play into this. Is I think it's key for Eric Bieniemy to be here still to help Sam with what he started in moving him forward, because Wally, when you get new coaches and all that in, and that could be a setback for a young quarterback as Sam Howell. So to answer your question, I'm not for sure if he is the guy moving forward. I like Sam. I like his toughness. But at the end of the day, can he move this team forward in the right direction quickly?
Yeah, I think he can, but I'm with you, though. I think it works if they keep EB. I think it's a great mesh. I feel like he'll learn a second year in this system, because I feel like at the end of the day, if you had asked a Commanders fan that this guy would be up there in passing in the top 10 in the NFL. Now, like you said, his last 3 games haven't been the best, but if he had, with not having a good offensive line, being a rookie quarterback and putting up these numbers, you would say to yourself, wow, like I wouldn't have expected that. I don't care anybody tells me. Like they wouldn't have said that. They wouldn't have told you that this would have happened. They wouldn't expect it. But now, since the season's played out, people now have this whole different notion. So it is what it is. But I feel like, to your point, year 2 can only be better. Could be 10 times better being under the system with an Eric Bieniemy, with a better offensive line, because they're going to upgrade with the money they have in the cap and the draft. So they're in position to upgrade. So to me, like the smart thing would be to keep those two together. But we all know how the NFL works. It's about what have you done for me lately. And especially with a fan base, it's like, what have you done for me lately?
And you know what? I can't fault the fans. I can't fault the fans. They used to this bad taste in their mouth for so long that they don't want nothing but a good taste, and they don't care how it comes about. Right. But the thing about Sam also is that you wanted him to finish strong.
Yeah.
I mean, he started off the season, like you said, the completion, the yardage, leading that, and that's just nothing. That's not, you can't take that lightly. But then you almost say, if he had a good offensive line, would he have been better? I think he still would have struggled some, because if you look at his progressions as far as him getting rid of the ball faster, as far as surveying the field and all of those things, picking up the defense, what they're throwing at him right now, that's got him a little rattled. I think that you've got to consider all that. I would have loved to see Sam finish strong at the back end so I could really assess, because I want to see what Sam does this week against the Jets with a good defense. They got the 49ers, that another good defense, and they've got Dallas. So all the things, the teams that they're playing will be good measuring sticks to find out what you have in Sam right now. But you got to beat up offensive line. You got the running game that, to me, hasn't ever gotten really going strong this year because they haven't used it enough. And maybe that's because of the offensive line. But you're going to find out, try to figure out what you got all the way around. But this is the thing, that going back to the receivers, everybody is talking about Terry not getting the ball, and by far this is not the type of year that he envisioned. But when you go across and look at his teammate Curtis Samuel,
you put him numbers.
He had his best year.
Yeah.
So what are you saying right there? That they're getting the ball to him, and he's having one of his best years since coming to the Commanders. So you can't kind of like fault Sam for not getting the ball to Terry, because he got the ball to somebody eating.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's what I totally agree with you. I feel like we get fixated on, like, oh, we want this person to get the ball. Like, we get too fixated on that.
Because
like,
Terry is your number one receiver. Everybody's saying he's your playmaker. Saying you should be getting the ball to him. But the thing about it is that if Terry is not open to get the ball, and sometimes it was Sam. I mean,
sometimes it was. That's the truth.
You got to look at the fact that the reason why Terry's numbers are down for the most part is you got a rookie quarterback, a bad offensive line, and therefore numbers are going to be down. But on the other end, some players' numbers are up.
Yeah, that's how it is. You get a comfort level with certain players. That's just what it is. Like, it's a fact. Like,
that's
you
part
can tell.
That's part of football.
Yeah, and you can tell even.
And some years is no, and it's quarterback who's putting that ball in your hands. So I'm like you. I like how Sam is spreading the ball around, because I think that when you have multiple weapons on the field, the running backs coming out the backfield, catching the ball, the wide receivers. Dotson hasn't had his year either, because he's been missing in games, in and out. One game, big game, next day. I mean, what has happened to him in this offense also. I think it's a combination of just what you have on offense. That's the reason why, if I'm drafting anybody, and I've been saying this for the last 5 years, you're giving me offensive linemen. I don't care what quarterback is out there. I'm getting like 3 offensive linemen, not 1, not 2, but 3.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm with you, Donna. So this is I am totally with you. But I will say, there's just one guy, not quarterback. I'm not a quarterback. I'm looking
for a linebacker too.
I know. I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do want a quarterback. Bad as I don't know what. Like, I do. I mean, not quarterback. An offensive lineman. I want one. I want the kid from Penn State. Don't tell Lake I told you that. I want the kid from Penn State, right? But won't lie to you. There's this, and I'm a Michigan fan, so it hurts my soul. There's this man, Marvin Harrison's son. I'm telling you.
Hey, I might have to take him.
I'm telling you, if he falls in my lap, I'm.
You know what?
You know what? No. It is hard for me to say no.
That's the only guy. If Marvin Harrison's son is on that board, I'm not passing him up either.
Yeah, that's the only one. Everybody else, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give you a side eye. But for that one, and if Marvin Harrison's son is on the board,
he ain't gonna be there. Wally, he ain't gonna be there.
I know he shouldn't be there, but if he's there, Donna, I swear.
But if the Commanders don't win another game this season, They might be. They may have that.
They gonna be in front. They might be there. He might be there. That's about. He might be there. So, hey, so Donna, real quick. I mean, during that game, long snapper, Cameron Cheeseman had a horrible game. Like he got Tress hurt. You know what I mean? And also, like to make it try to make it 21-28, he even fouled that up with a low snap, and the kick was blocked because of his bad snap. So which resulted in the score being 20-28. And he got cut. So he got cut for it. He got released. Yeah. Your thoughts on him even being drafted? Like, was that Ron? Because that's a Ron move. Like Ron drafted up to get him. He traded up to get him.
Before they even had him, they had a good long snapper here already. And they didn't even keep him. He was consistent all the way across. Yep. And why they got rid of him, I'm not understanding. So
I think he retired. Did he retire? Didn't he retire? Or
but that was after the fact. But what I can understand is Cheeseman has struggled all year long with bad snaps, high snaps, low snaps. But this last one, it's funny that you say that because I was out at the practice today and interviewing Tressway, and he was saying that he didn't think he was going to get up. He thought his brains were knocked out.
They knocked him down.
It was pretty bad. And Tressway has been your most consistent player across the board all season long, and you lose your punter and your holder. That's key. And when he was laying on that turf and whatever because of a bad snap, and Cheeseman, trust me, it's not like he meant to do that, but
not at all.
He has not been consistent all year. And this is the thing too. When he was struggling earlier during the year, Coach Rivera said, we're going to take a look at him, long snappers and so forth. So they didn't bring anybody in, and the problem may have been corrected for one game, but then we saw it happen again, over and over again. And so even Cheeseman said after the Rams game in interviewing him, he said that if he was with other teams, he would have been already cut. Yep. So he's saying that. He said, my play has been bad, that other teams, if I was with another team, they would have cut me. So for the Commanders to take this long, and we don't know how this new guy is going to shape up, coming in here. But as Tressway said, with long snappers and whatever, this happens all the time. Come in, come out. But the guy that they had before, he was there for a long time.
Yeah, Nick Sundberg. Sundberg.
Yeah, and not only Sundberg. And then the thing about it is when they got rid of him, he was still at the top of their game.
Yeah,
they just wanted this new draft guy.
Yeah, they wanted a young dude. He was still the best. He was still probably one of the best.
What did that do for them?
Nothing.
The mistake they made right there.
I mean, well, don't worry.
Another one of those mistakes.
Don't worry. The mistakes about the end. After the last game of the season against the Cowboys, the mistakes about the end. The people making the mistakes.
Well, hopefully, Wally, we don't create new one because this is the key thing is they have to get the right general manager in here. They've got to get the right head coach in here. I mean, I don't think that Martin Mayhew had his moments up in Detroit when he was there. Yeah. But I don't think that this regime, this new coach, this new ownership, I think that they're looking to say we need to make changes because this is the thing with the Commanders. They do everything backwards when Dan Snyder was here. Yeah. When you're picking your head coach, you first pick the general manager. And I'm saying no coach should ever be the head coach and general manager. That should be thrown out the door and never, that door opened again for no team across the NFL. But for the Commanders, when they always look for big names, and I hope this new ownership doesn't look for the big name coaches, but they look for an innovative guy that can move this team, freshness in the right directions instead of these retreads over and over again.
I will say this: you look at the track record from Josh Harris with the Sixers, and if you look at what Magic likes to do, but we'll do Josh Harris as an example for the Sixers. They do tend to get like notable coaches. Like you look at the Sixers, they got Doc Rivers.
And how did that work out?
I'm just giving you. I'm just giving you. No, I'm with you. Now they got Nick Nurse, and Nick Nurse he won a championship in Toronto. I think they like proven commodities. I'm just saying that's what they like. I just feel like that's what his track record says. I'm not saying it's going to be the same, but it seems like that's his track record. And even
no, I understand about the proven coaches, but the thing about it is proven, but not in the dark ages.
Yeah, true.
I'm not an innovative guy. Look at some of the, and Wally, if you look at the assistant coaches that are the Commanders let go, and that they're around the NFL. Sean McVay, you got Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. You've got Green Bay. You got Cal Shanahan with the 49ers. And look what those guys have done with the program. And I just named those four. But look what those guys that this Commanders team could have had one of those guys. And we might be talking about a team that's going to the playoffs instead of sitting at home again.
True, so true. So, John, let's go to Sunday real quick. This Sunday, the Commanders travel to New York to take on the Jets. I'm sure you're going to be there. So Ron said Sam is, like you mentioned, Sam is still the starter. How long of a leash do you think Sam Howell's in that Jets game? How long is his leash?
You know what? With this,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm laughing. With this coaching staff, I don't know, because they could leave him in for the whole duration. You know why I say that? Because they don't have anything to play for. So Coach Rivera may just say, hey, I'm leaving him in for the duration, because he doesn't want to hear anybody talk about Jacoby Brissett should be in there. He doesn't want that controversy to say Jacoby should be starting for the rest of the season and Sam should be set down. But if Sam is their future, they've got to let him play. Play this out. But I'm telling you, if he's struggling, this is just me. If he's struggling in that second quarter, that when we come out at halftime, guess who's going to be out in behind the center?
It's going to be Jacoby, right?
Exactly, and that's what I would do.
We already know. I already know how you roll, Donna. You cutthroat. I already said that. You cutthroat.
No. I'm still trying to win. I know the fans said, "Hey,
y'all ain't won like 4 games this year. We trying to win. We won 1 more before they get blown out by 3 other teams."
You know what? I'm trying to win 3 more games, and I don't care about the draft selection, putting ourselves in better, because I don't like to lose. So I'm not trying to go out there to position myself for the draft. I'm trying to win every game that I possibly can. So I'm going to put the best personnel in, and the defense. We didn't even talk about the defense, and the defense did play a little bit better, but they've given up that big play that big play every game is somebody is wide open running free, and then they play off the receivers too much. They give them 5 to 10 yards cushion all the time. They're going to already have a first down with that much cushion.
Their defense is trash.
Wally, come on.
Their defense is trash, too. Don't get me started on the defense, Donna. Donna, we can go forever because I can't stand the defense. All right, so Don, thanks for being on. Before I let you go, how can our listeners?
Montez Sweat is balling up in Chicago.
You said it. You said it, not me. Different system.
Still balling. He's still the leading sack for the Commanders too.
Yeah, I know, because it's been trash. Oh, 2 Hills better than all of them. Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Anyway, how can folks listen to your content on Madison, check out your podcast, and catch you on social media?
Yeah, Mid-Atlantic Sportsnet Madison every Wednesday and Friday at 10:30 p.m. Every Saturday at 9 a.m. You can catch Tony, myself, and all the crew. And then our podcast, we come on every Thursday. I'm trying to put Tony, kind of helping him out because he's still trying to have that hope. But you can catch us with our podcast In the Minute, YouTube, and also our podcast channel, wherever you listen to your podcast. And then you can follow me on what is it, Twitter?
No, what? I'm going to do it for you. Follow Donna on X, Donna Hopkins _, and IG at DJ Hop 32.
DJ Hop 32. There you go, Wally.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Don't worry about it. I told you I'm gonna plug you regardless. Hey, Donna.
He's making me do X even more so.
Exactly. I be on Donna for this.
He does.
All right, Donna. Thanks for being on. Appreciate you.
It's always good.
All right, Donna. Take care.
See ya.
See ya. All right, it's Donna Hopkins, man. Donna's awesome. I think our next guest is in the building. Speaking of, I'll say this. Well, the Commanders cannot talk about postseason because they're trash, right? Because they're mathematically eliminated. But HBCU's postseason was in action last Saturday. So I'm going to introduce our next guest. All right. So right now, let me introduce my guest so we can talk Celebration Bowl. Right now, we are joined by HBCU announcer and analyst Jamie Walker. What's going on, Jamie?
Not much, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Good. I'm glad. I'm happy to talk to you, man. That game was so dope. Like I went that game.
The game was great, man. Hold up. It was like we're going in and out.
Oh, here we go. Jamie?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Is that me? Did I freeze something? Okay, sorry, Jamie. So that game was something special. So your thoughts on the game?
Man, my thoughts was that Howard came out to play early on, man. Larry Scott had them prepared, but they were a limited squad, a limited offensive squad. And I think when you're limited, especially when you're one-dimensional offensively, definitely had a great power running game, but that passing game was, left a lot to be desired. So I think that's really the tail of the game. And FAMU was a talented bunch, man. So you're talking about receivers all around the field dealing with that Florida speed, and Jeremy Musa playing quarterback definitely did his thing, even though he started out rough. And give credit to that Howard defense for keeping him in check early, but it was just a matter of the talent really just rising to the top at the end.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, like we're talking Celebration Bowl. Howard fell to FAMU 30-26. So Jamie, you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned Howard's defense. I thought their defense was amazing, to be honest with you, to start the game. Just knowing that, like you said, FAMU's high-powered offense. You already had, the player of the year in the SWAC, and Musa's like out there, and he started off shaky, but Howard's defense, I thought, did enough for them to win the football game. But like you said, the offense he's a kid, so I'm not going to like throw his name out there, but the offense struggled, and we know why it pretty much struggled. But I felt that like in that first half, Howard squandered a good opportunity to win the football game because they could have really put their foot on the necks of FAMU, just the way the game started. But that felt like the last drive of the first half when Will Williams threw the interception on fourth down, and how they converted, like obviously how the DB converted and put him back in plus territory, would made it able for them to get a field goal to cut that lead to 16-10. But your thoughts, where did you feel like that game swayed for FAMU?
Wow. You know what? Crazy enough, I think the game swayed when they got that first trick play in that was called back. Okay. The reverse pass that Musa actually caught, but was actually called called back due to holding. And I think what it showed was FAMU's ability to be able to go downfield despite everything going on. Howard's defense, the front seven especially, Dan Brokenberg, defensive end, defensive tackle position, linebackers were playing well early. But I think the one Achilles heel was the secondary for Howard. Could not defend the deep ball at all. And in fact, had Jeremy Musa been able to complete those balls early, you may have seen a different score with that secondary. So, we're looking forward to, Kenny Gallup and others being able to defend those receivers. But again, you're talking about a lot of different receivers that could catch balls, although they kept, Marcus Riley, who is a huge player for FAMU, in check the entire game. I think the secondary, it wasn't necessarily their finest hour either. So I think that's where the game turned, because it showed that FAMU could have the ability to throw the ball downfield, and you saw some of that in the second half. But it was crazy. It went totally opposite the way I thought the game would actually go. I had FAMU winning, but I didn't think – I thought they had to run the football to actually to win this game instead of kind of doing it the way they did.
Oh, did you? You thought FAMU had to run the football to win the game?
Well, yeah, if you looked at Howard, if you looked at the numbers, in a lot of the games they lost, they came into this game 6-5, lost a lot of close games. But if you look at the way that teams got back in the games when they were leading, they ran the football. They continued to kind of go with their plan and ran the football on his defense. So I thought FAMU with that three-headed monster with Jennings, Yant, and even Dean, the kid that ended up getting the offensive MVP. I thought that was kind of the key to what they would do going into this contest. But give credit to the tight end Young, Musa, and you end up seeing Dean catching the football instead of running the football.
Every 87 yards reception.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's how they end up winning this ball game.
Yeah, speaking of Young, I even thought like FAMU made big plays even when they were trying to capture momentum. I like that 4th down play to Young up the middle on the scene from Musa to Young. I thought that was a big play. To your point though, I do think that I know I just speaking about Howard squandering opportunities. I do think that if FAMU, if Musa was hotter in that first half, because he missed a lot of easy passes. I mean, a lot of passes where it could have blew the game wide open. Because the receivers were, to me, they were getting open constantly. It's just that he was just missing a little bit.
Yeah, they were running free, man. It was one of those things where all year they've been dynamic, but FAMU was a second half team going into this anyway. And, averaging, over 30 points a game. That offense, it was just a matter of time. I wasn't, necessarily worried about because it was a lot. And I asked, Coach Willie Simmons this after the game, was the time factor as far as the preparation? And he just said no. And they were the more talented team, simply because they were more balanced to me. Musa was the offensive player of the year in the SWAC, but at the same time, they just had pieces all over the field. Whereas Howard and that power running game, Eden James and company were able to run the football, and he did well, but I don't think they gave him the ball enough.
Man, thank you. You said it for me. You already said it for me. Because I've been continue. Just continue.
No, I don't think they gave him the ball enough. Quite frankly. And as an offensive play caller, I can kind of understand when a team is one-dimensional and you need that other dimension to kind of open up your running game. But I think he ended up with 12 carries for 57 yards.
55, 57, 55, I believe, yeah.
So I don't think he was fed the ball enough. But, at the same time, I understand how that could go. You've been kind of sharing the wealth all year.
Yeah, that's the
thing.
I
think you feed Eden James in this championship game and let him eat.
I do think you kind of there's things in the game where I look at for them. And I'm like, Eden James. And it's wild because I've had this discussion about him and how he's used like that throughout the season with Howard. You know what I mean? Like because he's a dynamic player for them. But they do have this by committee, like this running back by committee squad. And it's worked, right? They've gotten this far. But I think for a team, when you're playing against an explosive team like FAMU, I think you got to put all your guns out there. Like he's a guy that can get you the home run play. He's the guy that can get you those big chunk yards where you may not be able to get in the pass game, but he can give you that type of play on the ground. And every run, it just seemed like his father, he was leaning forward. It wasn't like the guy he would hit him early, but he would still find a way to trickle and get a couple more yards. So I just felt like having him on the field a little bit more would have probably made their offense a little bit more dynamic.
Absolutely, but they did go to what they've been doing all year, which was, using the complementary backs, Wheeler, even Hawthorne in the backfield as well, in the Wildcats. So it was one of those things that they've done what they've, been accustomed to doing all year. But I think that passing game just wasn't good enough in this game to actually give you some kind of complimentary football. So, when you only throw for 106 yards in the contest, that's really hard to stop. And give credit to that FAMU defense as well. Isaiah Major and others, what they call the dark cloud defense, they did well, to contain that running game enough to have to, make Howard rely on that passing game. And that's not something they've done all year. I'll even go back to Howard against North Carolina Central. They ran the football. They didn't let, Quentin Williams and others, their passing game was complementary to what they were doing in the power running game. And he was able to get the ball on the outside and really give credit to that brain trust the entire year, because what Howard did was simplify the playbook for Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams is a quality quarterback within reason. He's not going to be one of those guys that you're going to have throw 50 times a game. And that's not what he does. So when he's at his best when he can kind of supplement what the running game is doing. And once that kind of is bottled up, he's not as effective.
So real quick, like, who calls this play? I'm going to play this clip. Who calls this type of play? Like, who does this?
For the injured Jones. Flea flicker. Got his man. Wide open is Jamarie Shereen. Touchdown, FAMU. The answer.
Willie Simmons got some. Like, who calls that? Like, when you're down and you're down for a winning drive. Who calls a flea flicker? Who does that?
He's a freaking madman. Man, look, yes, he has them. He has those. But also, man, Willie Simmons has been a dynamic play caller since he's been in college football. Yeah. Even as a player, when he was at Clemson, moved on to the Citadel, he's been that guy. And that's kind of what I was worried about going into this ball game, because he wears that name shotgun across his chest because he loves throwing the football. But going into this game, I really thought leaning on that running game with getting the victory, but getting them back into it, they had to throw the football, and they didn't, try to go downfield. I even think the throws they had downfield loosened up the intermediate areas. Mm-hmm. So I think, with Willie, I think, he talked about it before this game and his ability to kind of change up what was doing and ride the hot hand, and I think he proved that in this game. But as far as calling that play in the time he does, down 2 points, you're talking about 5 minutes and 46 seconds left, and this is for it all.
Yeah.
Hey, it takes guts.
Yes.
Guts, real guts to do that. So kudos to him, kudos to Musa. He said they had it in their heads. It never worked in practice, according to him. Mm-hmm. So that just tells you even more how much confidence he had in really his entire offense to be able to pull that off.
It's crazy because usually when you're the better team, you don't really resort to trick plays often. Like you're just going to beat them, right? And I'm sitting there thinking like, all right, you did Philly special. You try to run the Philly special, then you run the flea flicker. I'm like, oh man, like, and then you gonna do it there? Like, I was impressed. I was like, dang, like this is the play you're gonna run in this situation, because so many things can go wrong in a flea flicker, right? You flip it, like you try to flip it back, it's a bad flip. It could be a fumble, or the running back gets hit. There's so many things that can go wrong if the defensive line pursues and hits pressure. But it worked. The man, like you said, he's a mad scientist.
He is a mad scientist. I would beg to say he's definitely the best play caller in the SWAC. Mm-hmm. One amongst FCS coaches in general, because I think he just understands his talent and kind of goes with that. If you look at the quarterbacks he's had over his tenure at Florida A&M, you've had Ryan Stanley, who was a pocket passer. You've had Bashan McCray, or Rashawn McKay, who's been kind of mixed, had used mobility, but he kind of scaled it down for him to be successful. And then you're talking about Jeremy Musa, who essentially came in and took that spot from McKay, and started becoming that downfield passer that he likes. And Willie has called plays for all of them. So give him credit for his ability to be able to recognize the talents of his signal caller and kind of cater the offense towards that.
So speaking for FAMU, like they're losing a lot of players, what do you think the change is going to be for the program next season?
You know what? I talked to their recruiting coordinator after the game, Coach Respis, and they have a system already. If you know college football, there are some places that you go get players from.
Of course. Yeah.
You go get players from the West Coast. You go get players from Texas. You go get players from Florida. He's right there in the hotbed of it all. But what Coach told me was they identify Power 5 players who showed some things, but look for another change, and particularly from the state of Florida. He said they get them in, they talk to them, they love on them, they show them that here's a Marquise Bell who's playing for the Dallas Cowboys, Isaiah Land who's playing for the Indianapolis Colts, and tell them they can make it from anywhere, and they literally can. Here's the proof, here's recent proof. So when you're talking about the recipe, they get that in-state talent, that homegrown talent, foster that talent from the high schools, but also identify players who's looking for a change that want to make it to the next level, and they've proven they can make it from FAMU, and there it is.
It's a good problem, and you got and plus you got a offensive minded coach who can draw plays like that. It makes it pretty attractive, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. His experiences really on all levels of football gives him, I would say, not just a coaching advantage, but just an advantage of being able to speak to the mindset of these players that want to make it to the next level, and also be able to discuss just football in general, along with the support of the school. That's a great combination for them to be successful in the SWAC going forward.
So, like, you were at the game, obviously, you were covering it. Your thought, I have thoughts on the officiating. Your thoughts on the officiating.
You know what?
On both sides, though. Not on just on both sides.
No. This is what's crazy.
Yeah.
FAMU got a bunch of calls that they're not accustomed to getting. Now,
okay.
If you pay any attention to Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, just social media in general, when they hate SWAC officiating.
Okay.
And I'm talking about all the teams talk about it as like this urban legend that the SWAC officiating is not necessarily up to snuff. They just hate it. I think it took a while for them to get accustomed to the way that I think this crew was from the Mountain West or the MAC, one of them, to get accustomed to this crew.
Okay.
So I think some of the things that they were accustomed to doing maybe in SWAC play, they had to get, used to how it was going to be called, because you saw a lot of mistakes early and people were complaining about it. But I'm telling you, if you look at it, because where we were in the booth, of course, we're looking at it live, but we also are able to see the actual television broadcast. Yeah. They can identify exactly what they're doing immediately.
Yeah.
Those holds were there. Those things were there. Yeah. Sometimes it was called maybe behind the play or whatever, but it actually happened. So I think I think this is probably the better officiated game that they've seen. But yeah, they call some things in some really crucial time. Yeah. Some calls go in some really crucial.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what got me. It's like it was something in between. There's some critical ones in between, like some face masks. I was like, that's a blatant face mask, and like, how do you?
They missed a couple on Howard. I mean, on FAMU against Howard.
Yeah, and also like, I think Howard. I think they missed one for Howard too. Howard on FAMU. But also, like, to me, all right. So the special teams play when the returner got speared in the back for Howard. I thought the kid should have been kicked out the game. Like, am I the only one? Like, I felt like he knew that he was. I felt like he had time to adjust. Like, he had time.
It was what's wild, because I think people don't know that rule in particular. It's for player safety. Even if it's a muff, they give it. If they give themselves up, you can't hit them.
Yeah.
What ends up happening? I think it was a good compromise call.
Okay.
Because I think you could have kicked him out.
Yes.
But I think in knowing, and you're running full speed, trying to make a tackle and trying to decide whether or not you should do this or not, the hit was ugly. Don't get me wrong. Ugly, and you very well could have called targeting. But I think in a championship game, they didn't want to make that call and kick a kid out that was, trying to make a football play. So it could have gone either way.
Okay. No, I respect your answer. Because I was like, I looked at it and I was like, ugh. And I was just looking at it just like, ooh, because that kid could have got like really messed up on that play. And I was
absolutely,
he could have really got messed up on the play. But I'm with you. I mean, you were there, so I'll give you all the flowers. I'll give you all the credit over me. I won't even lie to you, because I'm like, initially I was like,
yeah,
that ain't look good. But so obviously, like, to me, this is like this is like the Super Bowl for HBCUs. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to downplay anybody's like other in Division II. I'm not trying to downplay anybody's other, bowl. But I'm just saying this is like the bowl that's televised, that gets all the attention, right? So do you think it's time to open up other HBCU conferences for the Celebration Bowl? Like maybe a playoff system or something like that, so they get that attention within the Celebration Bowl, or you're fine how everything is right now?
I saw the poll that was put up. I voted on it. Yeah. I think that I think it's time to add the Division IIs to the same weekend.
Yeah.
I think that would be something that would be great as far as the championship, if they were willing not to play the playoffs. Because there have been some successful Division II teams that have gone. If you look at the Bowie States under Damon Wilson, they've gone, far. Winston-Salem State under when Connell Maynard was there, made it, to the championship game. So I think there's been some successful playoff teams in the Division IIs, but I think they're few and far between. So if they were willing to have something like that, like back in the day, the Heritage Bowl, and have that within the same weekend, I think it would be phenomenal. I also think it could be some room to expand the Celebration Bowl a little bit. I think, as much as ratings were talked about within the last couple of days, as far as the numbers and viewership, I always think evolution could come to play. I don't think it was the teams at all, because it was compelling for me.
Yeah, it was for a lot of people though. For a lot of people though.
Absolutely. And I think, especially with two new teams being in it, I think it was very compelling as a football fan. But I also think that time slot for a while was occupied by just us.
Yeah.
And you had some other bowls happening this weekend. You had an NFL game go on. So I think there's some things that you could factor in as far as the numbers were concerned. I don't think it had anything to do with Howard or FAMU. But I think now, as you see that, there are some things you might want to try from a business standpoint to kind of maybe grasp more attention to that weekend, because I've always said about the Celebration Bowl, it should be a celebration of all HBCUs, that's how it should be marketed. And so when you have that in, because I know as an A&T grad, I was definitely in the building. I was covering it, and I saw a lot of folks from other schools there. So I think that's how it should be marketed in general. But I think adding the Division II flavor in there, making that a championship, making it a championship celebration weekend would be phenomenal if it could ever happen. But we'll see. I think those John Grant and others who bring this game together, I think they'll get that together and have some different things that they can do. And I think like anything, evolving is a good thing.
Definitely. And referencing the poll, 48 in terms of having other conferences partake in the Celebration Bowl, 52% said no, 48% said yes. So yeah, I mean, I just think that I think the NFL definitely hindered that it does that for everything. So like the NFL hurts the NBA in terms of Christmas Day games when they had it on a Christmas Day. So I don't think that. I think the ratings talk. When you have the NFL game, I think we need to kind of like understand that takes precedence a lot when it comes to anything on TV. All right. So, but I've had friends who didn't go to. I went to HBCU. I had friends who didn't go to HBCU said like that game was fire. Like that I saw that on social media. So I was like, all right, well, if you sat down and watched it, you appreciated it.
Most definitely, man. I think it's just compelling football in general, man. I know over the last couple of years they talked about, and the Deion effect is a real thing, but I don't necessarily know if it contributed to the ratings towards this in general, because I think the higher ratings were even, I think the first Alcorn A&T game or the Grambling game had even higher ratings. So I think, it wasn't necessarily that, but I think like everything else, when you factor in the NFL, that's why they're king when it comes to sports and ratings. They'll look at a horrible NFL game
way before anything.
So it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's always been that way. So, we'll see what happens. But, it's always an interesting question of who you include in these mixes. And like I've always said, even as an A&T grad, I don't think they should be included. Within that mix as far as the football is concerned.
Yeah.
I know we got some people that are talking about the band. I think that's something else entirely.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the football is concerned, no, it is a celebration. It is a, bringing together of the two HBCU conferences that play FCS football, the MEAC and the SWAC. And I think that should be all that's included. Now, whether or not you expand what that playoff looks like, in relation to maybe expanding to a 4-team playoff to see who gets to it, I think that would be phenomenal, but it would just be even more MEAC or SWAC squads, not anybody else.
Totally agree. Hey, Jamie, this has been dope, man. Appreciate you being on. Before I let you go, do you want to plug anything? How folks can catch you on social media, whatever you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Man, look, you can catch me on X at Sport Voice JW. I'm a sports announcer, so wherever I'm doing a game, primarily football or all-star showcase. You might see me on those as well, but on Instagram and X, Sport Voice JW.
Hey, Jamie, thank you so much for being on. We appreciate you, my man.
No problem, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Have a blessed one, all right?
You too.
All right. Man, I guess Jamie Walker, man. HBCU analyst and also announcer, man. Jamie is dope, man. Yeah, if you didn't watch Celebration Bowl was torch, man. That thing was amazing football at the highest level, man. Those kids from Howard and FAMU, they put it out there on the line. It was great football, man. Definitely great football. Waiting on our next guest, so we're gonna keep shooting the breeze. This has been a good show. Donna was dope. Talking about the Commanders, there was so much I wanted to talk to Donna about the Commanders. It's just this team hasn't looked good. I actually think and I actually put this poll out there on social media. It was more of which team between because Washington's they're playing the Jets. Which team has the better future, like the Jets or the Commanders? And kind of I voted the Commanders because I feel like the draft setup, and also some of the players they have on the squad kind of set and getting a new coach kind of sets them up to have a better future than the Jets, because the Jets are linked to Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers can do whatever. He has freedom on that squad. So I'm like the Commanders. So if you're listening to the show, if you're a Commanders fan, who do you think has the brighter future of the sorry teams Sunday, the Jets or the Commanders? I'm in favor of saying the Commanders, but I don't know if I'm being biased though. I feel like I'm being biased of picking the Jets. I mean, picking the Commanders, because I do feel like the Jets have a better defense. So and I feel to me, defenses win championships. So the Jets are one. The Jets should be should be the team, right? I don't know. I kind of feel like the Jets should be, but now I think about it, because the Jets they got Garrett Wilson. They have Sauce. They have Quentin Williams. Yeah, it looks like it could be and the Washington would have next year. I mean, Cam Curl isn't signed. They don't. Sam Howell, I like Sam Howell. I mean, the quarterback situation, I feel but they have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is healthy. I don't care how old he is. He's Aaron Rodgers. This is tough, man. This is really tough. I'm really trying to think about this. I don't know. This is real tough. I'll go with I'm sticking with the Commanders. We actually had the poll up there too. Let me check out the poll. We had a poll about that said question. Let's see. I'm doing all this while I'm waiting. And actually, I can waiting for our guests. Let's see. What did the poll say? The poll said, no, not highlights. Poll. All right, here we go. Better team in the future. 87% said the Commanders, 13% said the Jets. Oh, y'all tripping. All right, we got HBCU comments though. So let me read some HBCU comments on about having other teams partake in the Celebration Bowl. Jared Hoffman on X said, "Hear me out. On the same day as the SWAC championship game, have the MEAC champion play whoever has the better record between Tennessee State, North Carolina A&T. Hampton winner goes to the Celebration Bowl." I like that one. I just think I feel like everybody. I feel like they should include other HBCU teams, HBCU squads to the Celebration Bowl. But I think my guest is here. One of the baddest junior welterweights in the game from Capitol Heights, Maryland. Yeah. Gary Antuanne Russell. What's up, my man? And welcome back to the urban sports scene.
Hey. How you feeling, man? Thanks for having me. You see, man, I'm over here trying to.
I see you, bro.
I'm over here
I see you.
Gonna pop up, but you popped up on me. It's all right.
It's all good, man. It's all good. So, your last fight was against, man. First off, man, how you doing, bro? And how's everything going? How's life?
Man, I'm pulling through strong. It's always going to be some trial and error here and there. Some obstacles in the road, but that's part of life. Life going to keep on life. I tell you that.
True.
But we pulling through strong. All of us, me and my brothers.
I love it, man. I love it. Always prayers up to y'all, man. Y'all some dope people. So for your last fight was against Kent Cruz. You played the clip at MGM up in Oxon Hill, where you got him out of. As we saw, you got him out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what have you been up since that fight? What you been up to since the fight?
Training, real estate,
Okay.
Family things, trying to just build more personality within myself, because like I said, adversity is something that's something that everybody need, change is the only thing that's constant in life. So all of these things is just coming my way. I gotta have a sense of adversity, and I'm just dealing with it, building character basically, but definitely staying focused, because you heard the transition from a lot of these boxing streams going over to Amazon and stuff like that. So I don't know how things really going to materialize, but I know this sport alone is an all year round sport. So it's like stay ready so you won't have to get ready. That's when the training come into play. I'm always training, always ready, so I won't have to get ready. But outside of boxing, you got the real estate. So I'm trying to deal with the real estate, trying to buy some condos and stuff like that. Get some tenants in there, and etc. So I can have some residual income. That's pretty much that.
No, that's cool. Like one of my boys who played in the league, he did the same thing. So it's a good look, bro, to do that.
It's smart.
It's real smart, bro. Real smart, for real. So, like, we spoke after the fight against Cruz, and you told us that you wanted to see Regis Prograis. Prograis recently was defeated by Devin Haney. Do you still want to see Prograis, or do you have a bigger target in your mind in terms of the next person you want to see?
Me personally, I wouldn't want to see him.
Gotcha.
But for the sport of boxing, for the sport itself, it's like he's an action-packed fighter, and I believe that if he was to get in there with the right opponent, it'd be more exciting than it would be versus him and Devin Haney. Gotcha. Devin Haney, he did the smart thing. He was victorious. He won victoriously, clean. He kept his distance, but you saw that he wasn't trying to take any risks.
Of course not. Yeah.
He was just trying to play it extremely safe to the point the fight was just boring. And that's one of my main arguments lately. That's been one of my main arguments. Like, come on, you got guys that's been doing this for a long time, where it's an honor for the sport. I mean, of course, the Marcus Queensberry of the sport is to hit and not get hit. But when you say that you're on a different level, you should be able to have all of the attributes versus just being a stick and move type of boxer, like a fighter. You should have everything. That you're supposed to be a well-rounded package. You should be a puncher boxer. You should be able to brawl. You should be able to think, be a technician. You know what I mean? You're supposed to have all of these attributes versus just you being one-dimensional. I never seen Devin Haney just like lock his hands and catch fire in between, or just be like a puncher boxer, just timing them and getting the guy's attention, or wobbling the guy, or putting them out by any chance. Mainly all his fights been touch, catch, touch, run, move, touch, move. Try to mimic Floyd Mayweather. But you got UFC fighters, you got YouTubers coming over to boxing, trying to be the main attraction. Like that's kind of like disrespectful to me.
Facts. You talk about that though real quick. I'm annoyed by that, like UFC dudes and or social media personalities trying to be like boxers. Like, you talk about that real quick before we jump into the next topic, but because that annoys me.
First of all, I think what cracked the door open was the Jake Paul brothers.
Yep.
They were the ones that started the whole YouTubers coming over to boxing.
Yep.
And they got in there with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
One in a million type shot. They seized the moment and made it a thing. And now you got UFC fighters coming over and they making fight deals. Like, they making money.
Yeah.
Honestly, they've been making more money off of one fight than most people made in any of their fights.
Yeah.
And it's all due to the publicity and the excitement of it. I mean, that's what makes the fight a fight. People come and pay for pay-per-view for the excitement. They don't come to pay for pay-per-view just so they can say, "Oh, I just want to see who's gonna win."
You win, yeah.
Because I mean, I ain't got nothing else to do. No, this is a brutal sport, an exciting sport. It's all year round. It's just showing character in a person. It's showing skills. It's showing brutalities and so forth and so forth. That I think is now getting watered down.
Yeah,
because people is just like pacifying their record. They don't want to blemish their record, so they cherry picking who they fight. They like, I don't want to fight him because it's high risk. It's not even a high risk, low reward type of thing. It's a high risk. I don't want to fight him. Right? I don't want to fight him because I don't want to look a certain way, or I don't want to lose my victorious type of record. That's what you're in it for. The best fight the best.
That's what I wish. I wish it'd be back to that. Like, so that's what annoyed me, because even like, so the Fury fight, he fought was in Dakwe or something. He fought in Daku.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, 'cause I don't watch UFC like that. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't watch UFC like that. So when he fought him, I was like, then it's like, okay, he knocked him down. Now this is going glorified even more. Right. To a point where now other folks are going to do it even more. To a point where now we're not talking about the real boxers in the game getting
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what irritates me about it, because you got people that's been doing this their whole lives just to get to the pinnacle and be like a world champion. Yeah. And now you got people that don't even really value world champions.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Come on, you losing the respect for the whole titles.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
Having a title now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, because that's like I love Floyd, because I think Floyd's like one of the best who ever did it. But to your point, by fighting a Paul or whatever, like now the opportunity to put their toes in the door and being like, yeah, I'm validated. Like, nah, it ain't supposed to be like that. Like, there are guys in this game that would want that opportunity tenfold to get in the ring with you. You know what I'm saying? Win, loss, or whatever, bro. Like, they want that opportunity. Like, that's lies with that.
That's why I take my head off to Regis at, because even though he lost, he took that loss to the chin. He had to wear that, you know, like a man, and I can respect that. He said, man, look, he was the best man today. I didn't come be victorious. I got to go back to the drawing board. Don't worry about me losing. That was just a minor setback. I will be back. Sportsmanship, which is cool. I mean, even I'm gonna touch on that real quick, real short, so we can get back on this topic. Regis Prograis, he didn't do everything he needs to do. He could have closed the gap, cut the ring off some more, and everything, but he wasn't willing to take that risk. I don't know if it was the stage, or he lost too many rounds on points, so he wanted to be safe and not try to just get reckless. I don't know, but the tenacity got to be there. That's what I mean. A person got to be able to possess all of these attributes. You got to be not reckless, but you got to be able to embody the controlled, chaotic environment. You know what I mean? You got to have some fuck you. You like, man, like, fuck you.
Yeah, for real, facts.
Whatever you bring in, I'm about to lock these hands and come at you. I'm gonna do it calculatively, though. Yeah, I'm not just gonna rush in and just You know what I mean? Nah, I mean that doesn't define a professional. You know, it's still ways. It's a saying. It's many ways to skin a cat.
Facts.
You got to be able to skin a cat multiple ways in this sport, and that's just what it is, you know. But back to what we was talking about. You got these fighters like Floyd. He boxed and stick the move, but he was more fluent. He was more fluent with how he moves. His stuff was still exciting to the point. I want to see Floyd fight this dude. I want to see Floyd fight this dude.
Facts. Cotto, Canelo, yes, all of Mosley. Yes, all of them.
Cotto, like Cotto, he was willing to lay it all in the ring for that fight. That matchup was crazy. Shane Mosley hurt him. Floyd came back and man unleashed an ass whooping on that man. Canelo, he was Oscar, a heavy hitting puncher, both hands. Floyd outthought him. Put him in a blender, stick and move, pop, pop, pop. I'm about to make you run into this left hand, pow, move. You know, it made it look good. It was still intense and exciting. You got people that's because he was willing to make those risks. You take those risks. Like these guys now, they're not taking no risks. But that goes to show you that's why Floyd got the credentials that he got, because he took risks, and he's more of a well-rounded, all-around professional than other guys. You got a lot of these guys as professional, but we call them you're a professional amateur.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I know exactly where you're coming from when you say that. I get it. I totally get it. Your amateur back, your amateur style. I get exactly what you're talking about.
You can't switch it up.
Yeah. I definitely got what you're talking about.
There's been times Floyd switched it up. He lock his hands, stay right there, poop, brick to the body, poop, get off me, you know. And Floyd was never known to be no hard, one punch, one knockout type of fighter. But his heart, his intelligence, all of that was working in syncly to the point he was able to put a solution together and make some changes and become victorious still. You got a lot of these fighters that ain't doing it. I mean, that's why they imitate him a lot, because it's the greatness there, but y'all not doing it like him.
Nah, they not. That's the thing that gets me. It's like everybody wants to. Well, a lot of folks, and I'm not gonna say everybody. A lot of folks want to be Floyd, but they don't do it like Floyd. You know what I mean? Like, to your point. So it's wild. So I'm going back to speaking of Devin Haney. We're talking about him basically. I've been like clamoring. I ain't gonna lie. I've been clamoring for like Devin Haney. I've been adding them on social media saying I want to see Devin Haney versus Antuanne. I ain't gonna lie. I said it. My boy Ray. You know this. I've been saying it. Like I've been saying it. Like I want that fight. Like I want to see Devin Haney step up and fight you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like your body of work, the work you've been doing right now, and like where you're at, it's time for that type of fight to give you that opportunity. And I feel like he can. That's a fight. He's at 140, so it's not. He just got to 140, so ain't like there's people out there. Like you can go ahead and you can do this. You know what I'm saying? If you about that smoke, you know what I mean. So do you agree? Like, is that a fight that you would want ASAP?
If they was to give it to me, I'd take it. Okay, cool. I'd take it. My whole game plan since I even started, because I've been in the 140 division my whole career recently, but I was more so on a mindset of, all right, let me clean up my whole division. Whoever got the titles, let me take all these titles, then I'm gonna either move up to 47 or even move down. Fight at a catch weight at 47 or something like that. Be undisputed, pound for pound, stuff like that. But first, let me get my division cleared out. So I was going after Josh Taylor for Teofimo Lopez, lost the titles. Teofimo Lopez lost the titles. Now Regis Prograis got the WBC. Regis Prograis, he lost the title now. Devin Haney got the WBC. So it was really just like whoever's in my way is a victim. It was never me having like a hit list or anything like that. Yeah, it was never no hit list. It was just all love for the sport. And if you're in my way on my journey up to success, trying to get these titles, then just so be it. You was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
You're a victim. Yeah, I'm with you. No, I'm with you. Do you feel like, because I feel like that fight, I feel like that fight, it's now, since he's at 140, it's a fight that could be made. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like,
he talking about moving though. He talking about moving up.
Yeah, now he's trying to move another one. So I'm like, and I feel
I honestly, personally, I can't get mad at him because, like I said, it's still a career thing. You want to live, you want to have a longevity type of career, and you want to come out unscathed. You don't want to be able to not spill your name when you lead a sport and a major mark in the sport. Cool, that's fine. You can structure your career how you best see fit. Everybody else is just an opinion, for real. Yeah. But it'll be a good service of you to stay at 140. Yeah. These fans what they want. Yeah. They want to see you go against some Gary Antuanne Russell. They want to see you go against Teofimo Lopez or something like that. I can care less. Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Regis Prograis. I've been calling out
Matias. I'm about to say Matias. I thought I was about to say, yeah. I like to see that fight. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like to see
right.
I like to see that fight.
A lot of people scared to call him out. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Why wouldn't y'all call him out? It would be smart for business for one. Yeah. Because if you really want to be real, it's called show business for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a show side, which is the performance, and then there's the business side.
Facts.
You know, so it's like you got to understand the business to really pick the fights the right way. Yeah. And he's not no high risk, low reward type of opponent.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So why aren't these people calling them out? Probably because they just don't want to blemish their record. It's about the record, but honestly, my integrity lays within honoring the sport, honoring the art. You know what I mean? So it's like some things don't make sense, and I understand why people wouldn't move a certain way. You know what I mean? But when you got a guy that's a title holder, what doesn't make sense about that? Do you want that title or not?
That's what I'm saying.
Do you want that money or not?
I'm just like, you got the belt, like be the fighting champion. That's what I'm saying. Like you got the belt.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like you got this belt for a reason. Like, all right, regardless of what everybody thinks, I'm not even gonna get into like the Devin Haney, whoever stuff. But like, you moved up. Like now you in this division where there are bodies out here to put in work, like to really truly build your. If you're about building your brand. You in the division to build your brand. You in the division right now. You in 140. This is an opportunity to build your brand. You got dudes out here like yourself, like you mentioned, Teofimo Lopez, even Ryan Garcia, who's trying to build his name.
I left him out.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Mateus, like you have Mateus, like you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many. I'm sure Lopez, Josh Taylor out there. Like there's so many dudes in this class that got a brand where you can build your brand off of that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like. And it's wild, like to your point, everybody wants to be, and I'm gonna say this, everybody wants to be Mayweather, but look at the genesis. If you really want to be real, look at the genesis of Mayweather before he came Money Mayweather. Like he went up and fought these dudes. Like he went up and fought Oscar. He went up and he fought Cotto. He fought Jab Judah. He was fighting all of these dudes that. So before he became Money Mayweather, like he fought all these dudes.
Exactly, so, that's when he was pretty bull.
Like like he was fighting the challenges. He was fighting challenges when people didn't think he could fight whoever. Like couldn't beat some of these dudes. Folks thought he could lose to Gotti, and he punished Gotti.
So put him in a corner. It's almost first.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, like,
what's his name? Corrales.
Yeah. Like
God.
Like before he became the image where everybody says, "Oh, we gotta protect the O." Like he was putting his O on the line. Why? Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. His O was like there were 50-50, quote unquote, where folks deemed 50-50 fights, and he came out victorious. He came out victorious.
That's what I'm saying.
So like, don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, you could say like you protect the O, but it ain't the same. It ain't the same.
It ain't. I'm glad you spoke on that because that's exactly where I'm coming from. That's the main perspective that I'm coming from. Like y'all not Floyd.
Yeah, just
it's good that y'all see greatness in front of y'all. Y'all got that resource that's just right there at y'all convenience to the point y'all can just like, man, learn from it for free. Take advantage, but do not try to say that you're him. Like, come on, man. You done it younger. You done things that he did. Cool, that's good, but you are not him.
Yeah,
you are not him. He did things that's far more greater. Yeah, and I take my head off to him too.
You know what I'm saying? Because that dude was competing at the highest level. He was going after individuals. It wasn't like he wasn't maneuvering a fight to fight somebody he knew he can beat. I don't know how that makes any sense. Like I felt like some people are maneuvering to fight a fighter that they know they have the skill set to kind of beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than, all right, this fight can damage my O. So let me just and it's 50-50. I know I can handle this dude. I know I can. You know what I'm saying? Rather than the unknown. That's why I like, for instance, regardless of how the fight panned out, I respect Bud and Earl. Like I respect Bud and Earl.
Right. That was a great ass turnout too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I respect
great ass turnout.
Yeah, it's great turnout, but I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. Because they didn't care about the O. Like they knew they can make they felt with it, regardless of the outcome, they felt like they can make each other great. I like that. That's what it is. What you talking about? That's the purity of boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I like young dudes like yourself and the Shakur Stevenson. I like what he stands for, what he trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I like folks like y'all that are y'all don't care. Like y'all about getting it. Y'all about showing competition at the highest level. Regardless, if you the best, I want to fight you.
All right, show me that you're the best.
You know what I'm saying? I like that.
Show me that you're the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah, man. So if it's not, would you fight a Josh Taylor? Would you do a Josh Taylor, or you like, nah, that's not even in your because of
he don't have nothing I want.
Yes, I'm saying.
Like,
I feel you. That's what I'm saying.
I want.
Yeah.
Let's say he didn't had the IBF.
Yeah.
Or the WBA. Something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, what are you now? A tune-up fight?
True. You know what? Facts. That's the
truth. A tune-up fight?
That's true. That's true.
Cool. If they want to just throw me a bone and at the same time have some connections on the England side and play both sides of the fence type of thing. And you got the credentials to you right there. You could be a potential tune-up or a journeyman type of guy, a gatekeeper type of thing. Cool. Let's eat them up. Let's go ahead and put them on a platter. But I guarantee you, after this fight, I need one of these titles.
That's what we waiting on, man. Me and Ray talk about this all the time.
Titles. Like, come on, like really, realistically, my record shows that I need a title fight.
Yes. 17 wins and 17 knockouts, bro. I mean, it speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? It speaks for dude. Did Kent Cruz was undefeated right before he fought you?
Yeah,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about that time. Like,
not anymore.
Not anymore. So it's about that time. I agree. I feel like that's where it is. Like, you should be getting a title fight. Like, that's what it is.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I go high. Like, I mean, you're supposed to aim high. That's what it is. Like, you aim high. Like, I feel like, all right, everybody talk about. That's why I'm going back to Devin. Everybody talk about like Devin. He's at 140. Like, he's the one they're talking about right now at the present time.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Come on. Like, there's no need to move up. They ain't no need to move up. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where it's at. It's where it's at. Really, truth be told, it's where it's at for you too. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's where it's at for you. Going up ain't going to do but so much. This is where it's at for you. You know what I'm saying? So
I want to bring the true essence of this sport back to its feet, man. Mm-hmm. I do, and it's not just like, I'm just trying to bulldoze with everybody. No, like I can bulldoze you over. I can be a smart, intelligent. I can sit back, pick my shots. I can be a boxer like Floyd if I choose to. But these are things within your arsenal that you're supposed to possess. Doesn't mean that you got to broadcast all of it. You don't got to take everything out for every job. You just, man, you putting a screw in the ceiling for your light bulb, and you're gonna take out a chainsaw. For what? for what? Yes, we know you know how to cut down trees. You know you can be a lumberjack. Like, come on, man. You don't need that. All you need is a Phillips screwdriver, okay? Or a flathead. A flathead. Like, come on. Like, you don't gotta do all this stuff. So a lot of times when people look at me, they're just like, oh man, he's just an aggressive fighter. He just come forward. No, that's all y'all see because I never really had to bring anything else out due to the opponents that I had in front of me. We had a game plan. If things change, because you gotta realize a lot of people, they can watch footage on me too. Yeah, they can watch tapes and practice and try to go through simulations preparing for me. But let's say I'm not gonna fight the same this time. What I'm gonna do the day of the fight is I'm gonna change my style. Yeah. Then what? How versatile are you at that point? You was expecting me to just walk in and just be rock'em sock'em with me on, you know.
But if anybody who watch you know that you don't really like you're not one dimensional. You know what I'm saying? Like even like amateur wise, you're not one dimensional though. Like you know what I'm saying? You're not like. You're like, you do what you need to do. You get them. What I do like about you don't waste time. You get them out there when you see blood. That's what I do. I like that you're closer. But even when you fought post all, like I felt like you thought that out. That wasn't something that you were just going in there. You thought that out. Like you thought when you got that knockdown. Like you thought that out.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like you weren't brawling in that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It was a game of intelligence. It was definitely, you got to be a defensive discipline. You got to be disciplined offensively as well, because this guy, he's trying to time you. He got long arms. He's not no slouch. He was an ex-champion and etc. So don't sleep on him. And he got the punch and pop to get your attention.
But Bud didn't get him out of there. So Bud didn't get him out of there.
Exactly.
Just saying. Just saying.
Come on, it's there. I mean, the pudding tells it all, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The pudding tells it all, right? Like, come on, man. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but let's be real about this. You know, so as of now, I want to say opening next year, come next year. Who knows how this is going to go due to all of the changes that's been made. You know what I mean, as far as the networks and stuff like that. But if I had to say, I'd say first quarter, probably the end of first quarter, beginning of first quarter, something like that. But I would definitely be ready.
So what's your goal for what's your goal for 2024 in terms of boxing? What are your goals?
My goals personally is to continue to be victorious. I want to bring this sport back on the map for the right reason, not no cherry picker fights. I want to bring the entertainment. I really want to bring the entertainment back. Of course, I gotta honor my father, God rest his soul, that he.
Are you there? Did I lose him? You there? I got you. You're mute. Yeah. Hold on. You got muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Good. It's like, I feel like a cell phone. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hear me
now? But my father, he put his all into us. You know, he spilled a lot of jewels and gems and lessons into us, and I don't want that to go in vain. So I definitely got to do this for him and honor that. You know, it's a lot that goes into that. That could be a whole nother conversation, to be honest. But
actually, it's a segue. It's a segue that I do want to talk about him. But go ahead, continue.
Okay, now I do want to do it for him, do it for the family, of course. My Asiatic people, my melanated people. You already know how that goes. I do it for the culture. I just want to honor the sport as well, the art in it. Because us as melanated people, we always been the ones that's been changing the games, trendsetters and stuff like that. It don't matter, like you got black tennis players, Venus, and so it don't matter what sport it is.
We in there.
Let a melanated person be in it. We're gonna transform it to something that's just ultimately exciting.
Facts.
I want to be one of those ones that have that type of influential push in this sport. Right now, it's starting to decline a little bit. You got all these old fighters are starting to branch off and fall off, almost like seasons. Some season the leaves fall off and new ones grow on. We the new leaves, you know what I mean? It's a new season, it's a new era. And we got to keep that trend going. We got to keep that thing rocking and rolling. It's our job, it's our duty almost to do that. But we got to have the courage to do it too.
True.
I respect everybody that participates in the sport, because this sport ain't for everybody. It's this saying that we used to say in the gym. It was a joke, but it's so real. We used to say, you can play basketball, you can play tennis, you can play soccer, but you can't play boxing.
You can't. You ain't lying about that.
You can't play this, man.
You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying.
You cannot play this. So
I ain't playing boxing myself. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a basketball player. I don't play boxing.
Nah, you can't play this, man. You'll forget how to tie your shoes, spell your name, how to even feed your damn self if it's getting too serious and critical. So, you know, I honor people who participate in it. You know, I respect them. The fact that we share the same battlefield and stuff like that, I can honor that, you know, because they know what they're getting into, and that just shows character and shows courage in them, you know. So that's something that I like to keep going as well, inspire that into people to do, like just have that feeling, fulfilling feeling about yourself. Because when you hop in that ring, your coach is backup support, but for real, it's you. The athlete that's in that square, it's all up to you. It's mano y mano. It's me versus you. Right. the best win.
Yeah, it's the real one-on-one. That's about boxing.
Right. It's the real one-on-one. I don't give how big you are, how strong you think you are. This sport going to show you where your ass at.
True, facts. So you did speak of your father, man. He's the architect of the team, Gary Russell. He's rested, like you mentioned, he rested in paradise, man. So can you tell our listeners how important it is to you and your family, but also to the community, because he did a lot for the community too as well.
Oh man, yeah, I realize the community, they always been our supporter, our number one supporters. You know, we had times when we just gave back to the community. We did a pop-up shop. Basically, we did this drive, Capitol Heights Day. Yeah. We cut off the street and we told all of the venues, right? Yeah, I remember all of the personal venues to come up and bring their pop-up shops, Black-owned companies and stuff like that. So we can give our advertisement, then we put it online, mass market it, and they got their their business showcase it on multiple networks and social media streams, so they can have more inventory or more business clientele. And at the end of that, we gave a sermon on who we are as the culture, who we are as a being. Just our makeup is just different from every other ethnicity that's out here. You know, and we gotta remind ourselves that we are royal. We do come from a different background, but our background, by being different, doesn't mean that it depreciates. It doesn't mean that we devalued. If you truly understand your lineage, your history, it shows that like you are like the creator. The essence of you is something far more greater than what all these other people can truly possess. That doesn't mean devalue all these other races because they're not you, but it means be a leader, show leadership, give homage to the people who've done it before you, live in that light, walk these footsteps that's basically going to allow you to be righteous. Because people out here now, they're just doing any and everything. It can be the bad stuff. It doesn't matter. If you got a code that you live by, then it's A-OK. At least even a code, when it comes down to just a code that you live by, that's something of a systematic understanding that was ushered in or brought about due to having a certain level of togetherness. And even that certain level of togetherness came from or germinated from us. So much things that we've done, we had to be together about how we did it. You know, so the creativity, the creations from events and inventions and stuff like that, due to current time all the way up to now, it's like you got things that's being created and being a trend naturally, because that's just in our veins for us to be that way, just to be great naturally. You know what I mean? And they don't even understand where it comes from, because there's a lot of distractions out here. But we threw a sermon like that at the end of the day, did some mitts and stuff like that, and showed them what we do. We are boxers. We're going to the Olympics. During the time I was going to the Olympics. Yeah, dope. Stuff like that. And we just gave them some CDs. And the CDs was Hidden Colors. I don't know if you were familiarized with Hidden Colors.
Oh, what's this that?
Yeah, Hidden Colors, part 1 and 2. And that basically touch on the roots of us melanated people. The roots of how things was and how things came to be now today. Martin Luther King said it best. He said, "We are entering a new type of slavery, a slavery covered up in the niceties and complexities." I don't think a lot of people caught that, you know, but even during those time frames, we was always standing on our integrity. We was always standing on our history. We was always standing on our lineage and who we were as a people. We understood who we was back then, but I think it's starting to get watered down now. So these are the type of things that interest me, to be honest. I kind of like got away from it because I feel like some things just fall on deaf ears. Not everybody.
No, I feel you. No, you're right about that.
So now we got to find a new way to kind of like get through to people. which is cool. It's all right. But like I said, you got to have a sense of adversity, right?
Mm-hmm. No, it's true. That's how you started it. So Ray, who's my co-host, who's not here, he had a comment. He said, "Did you catch the Showtime tribute that featured your fam?"
I honestly probably missed it because they did show one before I fought Kent Cruz.
They did though. They did.
Man, it messed me up. I said, "What the hell? They want me? They want me to go in this motherfucker, wiping tears and stuff. What they doing, man? Threw me off." I said, "Man, turn this off." But at the same time, I was so intrigued because I got to see his face, his voice, see his smile. Like, damn.
Nah,
you know,
I get it.
Took me there.
Nah,
it weakened me, but at the same time, it had me pumped up. It had me stoked. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, I get it, man. I get that sometimes. Like I lost my dad like in 2018. So
man,
sometimes when
condolences.
Appreciate you, man. Like sometimes I'm the same way. I'll be in a certain mood and then like, damn, don't talk about it. Like I'm in this mood. Like I need to be in this mood. But when you talk about it a certain way, if I see a picture, then it's like it brings me back to a certain thing.
I know. It just
do something to me. No, I get it.
Something to you,
I get it. No, it do. Like, and especially I can't imagine getting ready for a fight. I couldn't imagine that. Then I couldn't imagine.
Real fresh too. Like honestly, even in that fight, if you look at the fight, the beginning of the fight, I look back at the corner and I pointed where he would be sitting at normally.
Oh man, that's dope, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, Pops, I'll keep it over here.
Yeah, that's
type
dope.
stuff. I'm gonna draw this energy from you, man. The universe sending me your energy. I'm gonna embrace it. You know what I mean? Transform it and do what I gotta do. Represent us.
Yeah. Well, you all are representing. That's the fact. No, it's all facts. Nothing about that. You all are definitely representing. Hey, Antuanne, man, thanks for being on, my man. Appreciate you, man. Is there anything you want to share before I let you go, man? Because you gave me a lot of time. I think you'll give me this much time. So I feel the love, man. I do. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I feel the love.
Man, I'm out here, no shirt, showing the rock over here. I'm about to give you all that.
Hey, yo, man, go
that thing say, if Fashion Nova need a new model, stop playing. You know what I mean? That thing say, here you go, boss. Y'all need to try on some of y'all turtlenecks and stuff like that and pose. Get you one of these.
Oh,
man, all I can say is, man, make sure whoever y'all come encountering with, make sure y'all uplift them, because the energy you put out is the energy you get in. That whole saying, you reap what you sow, that's not no biblical term. That's a scientific term, and it's real. You feel me? Don't strive away from that. Always try to uplift others, because it's needed out here. Because one day you never know when somebody gonna have to uplift you. So be there and follow me, follow my journey, follow me and my family journey, man. We're gonna do some amazing things.
No, definitely. 2024 is gonna be y'all year. I'm already claiming that for y'all, man. It's gonna be y'all year.
Yeah.
All right.
Appreciate that, champ.
Right, definitely, man. Hey, Antuanne, thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. Really do.
Oh man, you're welcome. You're welcome. I thank you for having me, King.
All right, man. Have a blessing. All right.
Appreciate it. Peace.
Peace, man. Hey, man. Awesome, man. Antuanne, man. It's gonna do good work. I'm telling y'all, that's the next champ over there. Real talk. Next champ. Said this before. Ray know this, and Ray probably listening. I said we met him off the rip the first time. We was interviewing his brother, Gary Russell Jr., and we spoke to Antuanne. I was like, I like him, man. Like that's the one. Like he's gonna like that one is. I can listen to him talk. He's just more than a boxer. He's an intelligent young man. Real talk. He's a very intelligent young man. Anyway, this has been a great show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, listening to the interview with Gary Antuanne Russell. Also appreciate Donna Hopkins for jumping in. I appreciate Jamie Walker for being on, talking about the Celebration Bowl and HBCU football. This has been an amazing show. Next week probably my last show for the year before, because I'll be the last show, and I won't be back for the new year for a minute. But Ray's gonna be holding it down. So anyway, appreciate y'all. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. Click the red subscribe button and like this video. Hey, check out the home of the Urban Sports Scene, Amplifier Media, at ampfiremedia.com. And this show can be found on the Podcast DC app. Download the Podcast DC app to hear all of the Empire shows, as well as other great content. Anyway, I appreciate all of you all for tuning in. It's been a banger of a show, one of my favorite shows. I ain't gonna hold you because I had a lot of great guests. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Say for Ages. Jidig Deuces, a mega. Lead us out, big homie. Peace.
Peace.